only thing that changed on this is the account. Resolution from our agenda and change the account number.
All right, so we're just making this a point one because of the account number.
Yeah.
Okay, it's,
So my motion was to amend to 30319 for account number, account number is 101-729-002-801-000.
all right, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Support.
All right, it's been moved and properly supported. I'll give it to the county the 8th board. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair.
The chair recognizes Councilperson in point of order.
Yeah, the reason why I'm amending them is just for the account number, but also this has been floating around since September, and it's time to approve this. Or that we all know, they need help and as well as all throughout the city in Blight. And, so I would like to see this approved.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to? The chair recognizes the councilperson in the 8th ward.
So, Mr. Philip Moore, through you, Madam Chair, Mr. Philip Moore.
Mr. Moore, will you join us?
Mr. Moore, can you explain the account number discrepancy? And that's the reason I separated a few of these. Now we're on 101-729. It's not the account that we transferred to, and this body said that the administration wasn't to transfer to a different account for 45 days. And now we're on 101-729 for all of these. So how's that happen?
That's part of the resolution, the change that you had, you said within 45 days, they need to move to a reserve account in the general fund. That's been done.
I'm sorry, you said it again?
One of the amendments that was made by the council was that within 45 days, I need to move it to the reserve account within the general fund. That's the new account.
Oh, so 101-729 is the reserve account.
Right.
But didn't last meeting, it was a different account number that we
We
had?
had, we had moved it, because remember the two-step process.
Yeah.
And so the last meeting, we hadn't moved it yet, now we moved it, that's the number going forward.
So, in the resolve of this, it still says it's coming from ARPA Fund 287. Should we strike that from the record?
Which line are you on?
At the bottom where it says be resolved.
Be resolved, you see the 287 in the parentheses. I mean, through you to,
It says that for the city of Flint's ARPA administration, is that what you're talking about?
it says funds will be paid from the American Rescue Plan Act, Fund 287.
Okay.
I think Ms. Sparks Green may be able to.
I can answer that. So the ARPA funds that, anything that was presented before December 31st still has the 287 number, so this one was back in September. Anything going forward, we'll just have the 101.
You got data?
But this has a 101 number. So this has a 101 number and it's saying that it's going to be paid for 287. So
agenda this morning. I saw this was from
it doesn't matter when the event or the resolution was brought forward. If it gets approved tonight, should we strike that 287?
there should be a resolution that corrects that?
No, apparently not.
It was, it.
Point of order.
What's your point?
Pardon, sorry.
Oh, he has a
Point of information. Go ahead.
what's your point?
Through you to, Mr. Pfeiffer, the account numbers were different, and it looked like the wording might have been a little different, so I just went ahead and did the, I didn't catch the 287 here, but I can strike that. Yeah. But I can, do you want it in writing, because I've got it here and I can print it right now.
No, it's still, I mean, as long as we, I just want to, that's what my whole problem with these article ones that we sent, that they're still contradicting each other. With the, and that's the, I know, but that's the one that we just said no to.
I think that this is, excuse me, point of information.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is the last one that's hanging out there to be, that's got one. All the park ones have the correct number on it
Okay,
because they've done before.
I'll make a, motion to amend to strike the sentence, funds will be paid from the American Rescue Plan Act Fund 287. Well, I guess before I do that, is Ernst & Young have any accountability to these anymore?
We have been, they still are going to have some review. It won't be as extensive as what they had previously, but they'll still be involved in the process.
So should the whole last half of that sentence be stricken?
We're still basically going to be following the ARPA guidelines for everything. Our plans to follow.
Okay, we'll start with that. I'll make a motion to strike the sentence, funds will be paid from the American Rescue Plan Act, Fund 287.
It's been moved and properly supported.
There he is, there go Kevin. Put it in writing, sir.
This is still gonna be point one.
So I'll move on to the next one real quick. Do we need to strike, because my time is running out, that's why I didn't do that. Before the funds are spent, City of Flint ARPA administration compliance and implementation firm shall review and ensure compliance with the latest U.S. Department of Treasury final rules. I understand that you may be consulting with them, but that's purely voluntary at this point. Should that be stricken from this resolution as well? Through you, Madam Chair, Mr.
Mr. Moore, that question was for you.
Our plan has been to follow the ARPA guidelines, even though
But that's voluntary, right?
it's voluntary.
Wow,
Wait, what?
it must be without money. We abuse. Ms. Burns. You gonna have
I
to
just
call me.
struggle with, one, we don't.
Mr. Mitchell,
What?
come to order.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Stop, thank you. Go ahead.
I struggle with this because we don't have a revised plan with Ernst & Young to not administer funds that are not part of the 287 fund. And through the department, we don't have a plan with Ernst & Young to administer compliance for funds that are not associated no longer with ARPA officially. I understand that what we planned for what you want to do, but they don't have an agreement with us to administer guidelines for things in the general fund. Follow me? So why are we, should we strike that before we have a plan with Ernst & Young to do this voluntary thing? Does that make sense?
So I guess, Mr. Pfeiffer, if I may, I'm calling for time. Because all of the ones that are in front of us now, because these are ones that are being bought back, they were already vetted through Ernst & Young.
That's That's correct.
But this says compliance and implementation, not just the initial. So since we don't have a agreement with Ernst & Young for funds in the general fund, should we strike this until we get a plan with Ernst & Young for this voluntary thing that you guys are all posting? Does it make sense?
I understand what you're saying.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
Because our contract with Ernst & Young is for ARPA funds.
That's right.
But these are no longer ARPA funds, they're the general fund. I understand that we want to self-propose rules for these, but they are no longer ARPA funds. So they no longer have a contract to implement any process with anything in the general fund.
The funds are still following the ARPA rules and regulations,
I
so.
think, but we have a contract with them to do this stuff for ARPA funds.
But we have a new contract too that hasn't been approved yet. that we've also signed.
But that's not before us today.
It has been.
Now, wait a minute.
It's not before us today.
You're arguing with Mr. Piper.
Royale.
I'll yield. I will hear from my colleagues what they think.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Chair recognizes the council president in the third ward.
I won't be supporting, this amendment. The reason why I won't be supporting this amendment is because these are still ARPA. My colleague in the seventh ward read to you guys the ARPA plan and what was in the resolution that still deal and speak specifically to the ARPA fund. If ARPA language is not in there, then I won't be supporting it, and then you have to get the funds from somewhere else, because we approved the plan for ARPA funds. Now, this account for the 287, I support striking that, but I'm not going to support striking the sentence in the last, so I mean, you know, our colleague got a right to second and support this motion, but I won't be supporting that because that's gonna send mixed messages out there to the community that, the ARPA funds is, in the general fund account, and we strike it, and we're not following the ARPA plan that we already set in place that we voted for last year sometime whenever we voted for it. So I won't be supporting anything that says striking ARPA, dollars, and with the finance committee and the finance director and the, compliance firm, which I was never in love with. If they telling y'all, no, y'all gotta strike that language, ARPA funds, because it's going in the general fund, I'm thinking that we move the ARPA funds into the general funds, but it's still restricted to ARPA related activities that we already approved. Or if it's unspent ARPA dollars, we still have the, ability to change where we want to move some money, so we can still do the same thing that we did prior to us moving in general fund. When you get talking about striking the language ARPA, that makes the public believe that we gotta come up with a whole nother plan, and then that's gonna send people in chaos. So this councilman in the third ward won't be supporting dropping the language that has something to do with, ARPA related activities, because in what I voted for was that we was just moving ARPA funds into the general fund account. It's still restricted, just like we get grant dollars, and those grant dollars are, specifically for instance, community development block grant dollars are restricted for community development block grant activities. So I'm not going to turn around and start messing people up already. The whole ARPA situation already jacked up. So to turn around and tell this public that the ARPA funds is not going to go towards what we already voted for is misleading. And I won't be supporting that. I will support the 287, but then when you went down the line and said voting to take away ARPA, you lost me, so you lost the vote on that. I vote for anything, the 287, but I won't vote for this. So my vote is no.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak on this motion?
Madam
Chair.
Oh, okay, the chair recognizes Councilperson Mrs. Ward.
I will not support this. One, we have a 45-day holding period, and we need to wait until that 45 days is up before we're moving money. And money is already being spent. And we're still getting resolutions that say ARPA, and I have a problem with that, because it said it's in general fund. I mean, if you want us to pass this stuff, I mean, it was clear, I think, probably 3 weeks ago, that everyone wanted to have ARPA off and be specific, and then we're adjusting account numbers. I think it was 2 or 3 times just today. You know, where we're adding on that we need to strike. So what that says is it's not ready. It's not ready to be actually presented to us, because if we're making amendments on the floor, and this is what the second one too, is it the second one we got today or the third one? I lost track. But I think they should come to us, you know, prepared and ready. I mean, that would be on the administration's part. And then to also have, you stated when Councilman Piper was speaking, the voluntary, Ernst & Young, it's kind of like we're putting resolutions before we get the contract. And so you said that resolution isn't before us today. So when will that one be before us? It has been before you all. It has been a couple of times. And so it was not approved? No, not yet. Okay. Well, you never said, I don't think we gotten to it when you, in your meetings, in the meetings. Okay, so why don't we have it today? We don't make it in this. So, with it being on the agenda, I guess that would be to, who the head of group to be the president or the,
It was never placed on the agenda this agenda for today.
okay. So, I'm not going to, because I am very, skeptical. I understand, and when we look in the news, communities that did not spend our funds correctly, and we moved 40 million over to the general fund. I would prefer for us to, you know, leave that money sitting there. And Mr. Moore, you had stated that we needed a 45-day holding period.
I don't think the 45-day number did come from me, when that came from the council. I did say you had to be a two-step process.
A two-step, so take those 2 steps.
We did follow what the resolution that was passed by the council, which I said we had to do that within 45 days.
Within 45 days, but I do believe you said too, we didn't want to make it look like we were taking money directly from ARPA over to the general fund. Takes off. For the meeting, and we get presented with the meeting. Well, so I asked a question. So it's kind of confusing to us because we just want to follow the guidelines. The money pool, we still consider ARPA, just like Quincy. So what do you guys consider? I mean, how would you like it to be called? Do you want it to be called ARPA or do you want ARPA structure? I think from the. I think that's. It's not time. I'm sorry. So what I think is we need to do an email and let each council person respond to it. My comfort level is have a correct account number. If it's coming out of general fund, I understand that it was allocated before ARPA, but it's not ARPA anymore, so then we need to make the changes. We did make that withdrawal before while it was ARPA within that timeline, and it's moved over. It's not ARPA anymore. It's just not. So it's, to me, it's kind of like you're trying to sell a 2023 vehicle in 2024 instead of 2023. You have to make some changes. Y'all got all these changes up here, and I mean, and then we're looking at the account numbers. You know, it's ARPA all over. But are we supposed to be still following the ARPA guidelines? This is not ARPA no anymore, though. That's not right. It's general fund. This is general fund. Okay. I mean, y'all switched it over to general fund. Well, I didn't.
if it's general fund, we don't spend general fund like we do ARPA.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Madam Chair. The chair recognizes the council president and I board.
I don't know how we can continue as a council if we're not going to acknowledge ARPA funds as ARPA funds, because there's still ARPA funds. They're still coming out of that account for the allocation. That we understand.
Well, we just trying to follow what council gave us in the first place about money's moved, it's still ARPA dollars, it still has to follow the ARPA guidelines. Now it's, so that's why we need the ARPA language still, but I'm hearing different sides that he wants to hear ARPA, she doesn't want to hear ARPA anymore. So what, how do we get it passed?
Yeah, exactly. I think for some, it might be that it's just a convenient way to say, like, the ARPA funds were stolen or put in the joint fund, and they're not going to go hurt the people anymore.
What's it?
Wait a minute, so the board, the council person in the ninth ward, will not speak to the motives of council people to say that they're going to be stolen. That's what his language was saying.
She didn't say residents specifically. Ms. Worley, let's watch it. Go ahead.
Thank you. There's lots of things said by other council people. In fact, they continue to say it themselves. So it's a convenient political ploy to not call it ARPA, but they are still ARPA funds, and there's really no issue. It's created. So I'm going to vote yes.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes? Funds. We're not gonna call them anything other than ARPA funds because we're waiting the resolution. And the resolution says that this 40 million has to come before the council for those categories. So it's not general fund money. We will not refer to it as general fund money. It is ARPA money. And that needs to come before the council in the categories for us to vote on. That's what the resolution says. If you have any confusion about what you're supposed to use and call it, go back to the resolution that was adopted on the 20th of December. This is ARPA funds under council control. That's what this is. All right. Thank you. Madam Clerk, can you remind everyone, and I'm done, I'm sorry. Madam Clerk, can you remind everyone what this amended motion is on for?
Mr. Pfeiffer's motion or the total of his amendment?
So he had a second motion that he put forward. Can you?
So his motion was to remove the language in the black paragraph that reads, funds will be paid from the American Rescue Plan Act Fund 287.
All right. And that is the motion that we will be voting on, just to strike funds will be paid from the American Rescue Plan Act 287. That's the only thing we're voting on. I just want to make sure that has clarity on what we're voting on right now.
Well, my understanding is he didn't necessarily substitute, but I thought he added on to his original motion, which was to correct the account number as well.
Correct the account number and then to strike that sentence.
Right.
Okay. And so that's what we'll be voting on. All right, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Murphy?
No.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Rebecca Carter is absent. Ms. Burns?
No.
Mr. Shack?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Ms. Worthing?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Vote is 5 yes, 2 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 2 no, that motion passes.
Madam
chair recognizes the councilperson in the fourth ward.
I always get confused when we're doing amended. Sorry. We're now making this 230319.1, correct?
Correct.
Can you make a motion to approve to send to council 230319.1?
Right, it's been moved, to send 230319.1 to council. Is there a second?
Support.
It's been moved and properly supported. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair.
The chair recognizes the councilperson in the eighth ward.
Yeah, I will be supporting this because it clearly states that the compliance and implementation firm will be in charge of this, and we don't have them under contract to administer anything out of the general fund, because people don't want to listen. Not once did I say, we're not going to call these perfect funds. But the Ernst & Young needs to be changed. So I will not be supporting this. Be mad, piss off on it.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak?
Madam Chair,
The chair recognizes the councilperson in the sixth ward.
thank you. I will not be supporting this. And,
Yes.
Shelley, did you leave?
See the rest of them.
Okay.
Maybe Mr. Earl?
No, I'll shoot her an email. When we talk about.
Oh, here she is.
She's on the left block.
Okay.
She's fine, I'll shoot her email. I won't be supportive because I think we do have to be specific. We're talking about the balance of $40 million. We're not talking